The shuttle landed with a soft hum on the smooth, silvery surface of Zerath Prime. Commander Alex Rains adjusted the straps on his suit and stepped onto the alien soil, feeling a strange mix of excitement and curiosity. The sky above shimmered with colors he had never seen, deep violets blending into fiery oranges, and the light seemed to bend in strange ways. The air was breathable, though it carried a sharp metallic scent that made his senses tingle. He glanced at the delegation accompanying him, creatures from several different star systems, all tense and uneasy. They whispered among themselves, casting wary glances toward the palace in the distance, a massive structure that seemed alive, pulsing slightly as though it had a heartbeat of its own. "Remember," hissed one of the alien envoys, a tall, armored figure named Krath, "the Queen does not tolerate fear. Even a hint of hesitation could cost you your life. Many have come before you, and many have failed." But standing here, seeing the palace with his own eyes, he did not feel fear. He felt curiosity. He felt the thrill of discovery. "I understand," he said calmly, "but I've always believed that courage is measured by how calmly one faces the unknown, not by how loudly one shouts." Krath narrowed his glowing eyes but said nothing. The palace doors opened silently as they approached, and a wave of warmth rolled out, carrying with it a soft, commanding presence that made Alex pause for only a moment. Then he stepped forward, his eyes scanning the grand hall. The walls were tall and smooth, curving in impossible angles. Lights shimmered along the surfaces, forming patterns that were both beautiful and disorienting. The hall was empty, but Alex could feel the power that lingered in every corner, a silent warning that he was being watched. And then she appeared, Queen Lithera. She moved like liquid, each step controlled and deliberate. Her body was taller than a human's, graceful yet powerful, and her skin shimmered in hues of deep blue and silver. Her eyes were large, golden, and unblinking, seeming to see through the very core of anyone who dared look at her. Many would have felt their knees weaken under her gaze, their thoughts faltering under the weight of her presence. But Alex stood tall, meeting her eyes directly, unflinching. Lithera's gaze swept over him, lingering in curiosity rather than hostility. "You are different," she said, her voice a melodic blend of tones that seemed to vibrate in his chest. "Most humans I have met tremble in my presence. You do not. I have come to understand, not to judge. Tell me, Commander Rains, why should I trust that your confidence is not folly?" "That is why I am here." It was clear that they did not understand him, that they had never met a human like him before. Alex paid them no mind, focusing instead on the city before him. The streets of the city were unlike anything he had imagined. Towering spires of glass and metal spiraled upward, their surfaces reflecting the strange sky in dizzying patterns. Hovering vehicles moved silently along invisible tracks, and alien citizens went about their day with a calm efficiency, their features varied and striking. Some had skin that glowed faintly, others moved with a grace that seemed almost impossible. Yet no one dared approach him directly. Whispers followed him, stories of a human who did not fear the Queen, stories that grew with every step he took. Lithera led him through the city with ease, explaining the customs in a voice that held authority yet invited questions. Alex asked them freely, curious about the rituals, the governance, and the strange technology that seemed alive. With each question, he noticed subtle changes in Lithera's demeanor, her interest growing, her amusement flickering through her usually composed expression. "You are the first human to speak to me without trembling," she said as they paused on a high balcony overlooking a vast expanse of the city. "Most would beg for mercy or bow endlessly. You ask questions. You observe. You do not fear me, and that is unusual. And sometimes, curiosity does more than threats ever could." Citizens moved aside as they approached, watching his reactions. Lights shifted in patterns, almost forming puzzles that required attention to detail. Rumors whispered among themselves that he would fail, that no human could withstand even a minor challenge here. But Alex noticed them with quiet attention, solving them not by force, but by careful observation and reasoning. By the time they reached the palace gardens, a vast expanse of crystalline plants and glowing water features, Lithera's interest was clearly piqued. "Most humans are loud, reckless, and predictable," she said. "Yet you adapt. You do not retreat. You do not falter. There is a calm strength in you that I rarely see. Perhaps we are more than our stories suggest. But I am ready to learn, and I am ready to face whatever challenges you deem necessary. And I will see whether your courage matches your words." The delegation behind him whispered in awe and fear, but Alex ignored them. His focus was entirely on the Queen and the city around them. For the first time in a long while, he felt that he was exactly where he needed to be. "People are afraid of you," he said quietly to Lithra. "I am not." And most refreshing. And perhaps he thought, just perhaps, the galaxy had underestimated humanity once again. The city of Zerath Prime seemed calm under the twin moons that now hung low in the violet sky. Commander Alex Rains followed Queen Lithra through twisting streets and bridges that hovered over crystal rivers. Each step he took was observed by countless alien citizens, their golden eyes curious, wary, or quietly amused. Even here in the open he felt their judgment, but he did not falter. Lithra walked ahead with fluid grace, her every motion measured and confident. "You have passed the first test," she said, her voice calm but carrying weight. "Not because you impressed anyone, but because you showed no fear. Most humans would have shivered or fumbled, their voices trembling. You do not." Strange figures appeared, translucent and shifting like mist given shape. They circled the platform, moving in patterns that were both beautiful and disorienting. "These are the illusions of the mind," Lithra said, her golden eyes fixed on Alex. "Many envoys have faltered here. They see only monsters, dangers, or disasters. Their minds betray them." They shifted constantly, becoming terrifying visions of crashing skies, raging fires, and unknown predators. Many of the aliens around them flinched or whispered prayers to powers Alex did not recognize, but he stood steady, focusing on what he could observe clearly. "They are not real," he said softly, more to himself than to anyone else. "They are patterns of light and sound. If I observe calmly, I can predict their behavior." He took deliberate steps, noting the rhythm and timing of the illusions, and moved in ways that allowed him to pass safely. "You adapt," Lithra murmured. "You do not merely survive, you analyze and learn. Most humans are impulsive. You are rare." Alex did not glance back. He met Lithra's gaze and inclined his head. "You have done well," she said, "but do not think this is enough. Understanding the mind is only the beginning. You must also understand the world, the people, and the challenges that come from beyond these walls." Machines hovered, glowing with energy, shifting and rearranging themselves as if aware of their presence. Lithra gestured at one, and a projection appeared, displaying star systems Alex had never seen. Strange creatures moved within the holographic maps, their behaviors simulated to show patterns of diplomacy, conflict, and survival. "This is the Council of Worlds," Lithra explained. "Here leaders observe, decide, and act. Decisions here affect millions, sometimes billions. Most humans would be overwhelmed. Most humans cannot comprehend such complexity. It is just a matter of observation and deduction. That combination is dangerous in the right or wrong hands. Commander Rains, it is time for you to see the next step of our customs. Do not think this is a test of strength. It is a test of mind, heart, and adaptability." At first they appeared random, but as he studied them, he noticed that the symbols formed sequences, puzzles meant to be solved. Alien attendants, masked and silent, watched as he stepped carefully, moving in ways that completed the sequences. He spoke softly as he worked. "They are teaching rhythm, cause and effect, and observation. Step too fast and the pattern collapses. Step too slow and you fall behind." By the end, he had completed them all with an ease that drew murmurs of astonishment from the audience. "You see," Lithra said, turning to him, "your strength is not in muscle or weapon. It is in observation, reasoning, and composure. Most beings here would have faltered at the first misstep. You do not. We build, we adapt, and we survive. That is how humans face the unknown." Lithra led him next to a wide platform overlooking a canyon filled with strange, floating creatures. They hovered in synchronized movement, wings flickering with light. Lithra gestured to the creatures. "These are the Verasians," she said. "They are intelligent, capable of learning, and highly sensitive. They respond to emotion, thought, and subtle signals. Most envoys are terrified of them. Your task is simple. Guide them across the canyon without causing distress. No human can guide them. They will panic. Most would have tried to force control, and failure would be swift. Humans, it seems, learn by observation and patience. Even beings who are very different respond to calm guidance and understanding." Lithra stood beside him on the balcony, overlooking the city bathed in the glow of twin moons. "I have watched many humans," she said. "Most are loud, impulsive, or frightened. You are different. You have courage, yes, but also patience, observation, and intelligence. That combination is rare. I have always believed that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. And understanding allows us to act wisely. But more importantly, you are unafraid of yourself and the unknown. That is power. But for now, know that you have impressed me. Few can claim such a thing. For the challenges ahead are unlike anything you have faced, and many will expect you to fail. And he was ready to show just how much they were capable of. The night deepened and the city shimmered with quiet life. In the distance, the palace rose like a silent sentinel watching over the alien world, and Alex, standing beside Queen Lithera, realized that this was only the beginning. The trials ahead would be harder, more complex, and more dangerous. But he was ready. He was not afraid. And in a galaxy that feared humans, that might be the most dangerous thing of all. The sun rose slowly over Zerath Prime, casting long, golden beams across the alien city. Commander Alex Rains stood in the palace courtyard, stretching his legs after the long day of tests. Queen Lithera appeared beside him, her presence calm yet commanding. Today was not just another tour or observation. Today, Alex would face the heart of the alien court itself. "The Council of Nobles will meet soon," Lithera said. Her eyes glinted with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "They are powerful, proud, and not always kind to outsiders. Most who enter do so trembling. You do not. That will be noticed." He knew that surviving the illusions, puzzles, and Varasian guidance tests was only the beginning. The council represented centuries of tradition, judgment, and politics. Many envoys had come here before, only to leave in disgrace, or worse. "I understand," Alex said. "I am ready." It is a test of intellect, diplomacy, and adaptability. Your mind, your choices, and your reactions will be examined. The court will try to find weakness, and they will look for fear. Show neither, and you will make them think differently of humans. Holographic displays floated around the room, showing star maps, resource distributions, and simulations of alien conflicts. The nobles themselves were striking, their forms and colors varying widely, each one exuding confidence and authority. As Alex entered, he felt the weight of hundreds of eyes upon him. Whispers ran through the hall, rumors of the fearless human spreading quickly. Many nobles scoffed quietly, expecting the newcomer to falter. Yet Alex's calm presence silenced some of the murmurs. He walked steadily to his place, standing tall and composed. Lithera took her throne, observing both Alex and the council. "Commander Rains," she said, her voice carrying across the hall, "today you will demonstrate your ability to navigate the complexities of leadership, strategy, and negotiation. Your tasks will reflect challenges faced by my empire. Most humans would fail. You we shall see." Tensions were high, both sides threatened war, and the council wanted Alex to propose a solution. Some nobles whispered that the task was impossible. Each decision had consequences that could destroy alliances. Alex studied the map carefully. He considered the needs of both sides, the resources available, and the long-term consequences of every choice. He did not react with fear or impatience. Instead, he asked questions, clarifying points that the council had taken for granted, revealing subtleties that even experienced nobles had overlooked. "You see the problem differently than I expected," one noble muttered. "A human analyzing diplomacy." He explained the reasoning logically and clearly, showing respect for both cultures. The council watched silently, many of them impressed despite themselves. Lithera's eyes glinted. "Most humans would have tried to dominate the solution or appease one side blindly. You think strategically. You anticipate consequences. That is rare." Holographic avatars of alien leaders argued and shouted, their emotions heightened artificially to simulate stress. Alex's role was to mediate and calm the situation, reaching a resolution acceptable to all parties. Many envoys would have panicked or shouted in frustration. Alex, however, stayed calm. He listened carefully, acknowledged concerns, and proposed solutions that honored the positions of both sides. Slowly, the shouting ceased, replaced by cautious nods and agreements. A few nobles frowned, clearly irritated by a human succeeding where their experience had failed. Others whispered quietly to each other, admiring the ingenuity and patience Alex demonstrated. Lithera leaned slightly toward him, her voice soft but audible. "Observe how the council reacts. Their judgments are rigid, but they respect calm and reason. You are showing them that humans are not reckless as they believe." Alex was given a team of alien advisors, each highly skilled but competitive, and tasked with designing a plan to defend a vulnerable colony from natural disasters. without relying on violence. The council expected failure, assuming that humans could not coordinate effectively with alien minds. Alex began by listening carefully to each advisor. He asked questions, encouraged collaboration, and adapted their suggestions into a cohesive strategy. He did not command, he guided. Slowly, the plan took shape, addressing resources, evacuation routes, and technological interventions. The council reviewed the final strategy in silence. When they spoke, their words were measured but impressed. "This is thorough," one noble admitted. "The human has synthesized knowledge from multiple sources. He has done more than some of our own specialists could manage. That combination is valuable." By the afternoon, whispers about the fearless human had spread through the council hall. Some nobles began to reconsider their assumptions about humans. Others, feeling threatened by his success, started plotting ways to expose weaknesses. Alex, however, remained focused, aware of every glance and comment but unmoved. Lithra watched closely. She had anticipated some fear, hesitation, or rash action, but Alex had shown none. Instead, he had demonstrated a rare combination: courage under pressure, quick thinking, and respect for others. The final challenge was the most subtle and difficult. Alex was asked to navigate a scenario where no clear right or wrong answer existed. Two alien civilizations had clashing values, and any decision would upset someone. The council expected him to make mistakes, to alienate, or to falter under the moral complexity. Alex took his time. He listened to both sides, considered the implications, and proposed a solution that honored core values while creating a compromise neither side would have expected. His approach was not perfect, but it balanced respect, logic, and foresight. When he finished, the hall was silent. Then Lithra spoke. "Most humans would have chosen quickly, fearing judgment. You chose wisely despite uncertainty. You see beyond fear and beyond immediate consequences. That is wisdom." Others remained skeptical but could not deny the results. Alex had succeeded where most would have failed, not through power or dominance, but through human traits often overlooked: observation, patience, empathy, and clever reasoning. As the council adjourned, Lithra stepped forward. "Commander Rains," she said, her golden eyes reflecting sunlight, "you have faced our court, our traditions, and our expectations. Few beings could have done what you have. You are not only fearless, but you are capable of understanding and adapting in ways that are rare, very rare. I have learned much today, and I will continue to learn. Humans survive and thrive through observation and adaptability. It is our strength. You, Commander Rains, are a reminder of that." The council had acknowledged his abilities, but there were still unseen dangers, political intrigues, and further tests that awaited him. He also sensed the eyes of rivals, some of whom would not forgive his success. Their envy was subtle but dangerous, and he would need to navigate it carefully. For now, however, Alex allowed himself a moment to appreciate what he had accomplished. He had faced illusions, puzzles, guidance of intelligent creatures, and now the court's complex challenges. Each trial had tested not his strength, but his mind, heart, and courage. Lithra approached him once more. "Tomorrow," she said, "you will face new tests. Some will challenge your intellect, others your understanding of our people, and some will challenge your ability to inspire. Few outsiders ever make it this far. You have. And I will see if your courage can endure the challenges ahead." He had faced fear, uncertainty, and judgment, and he had succeeded. Humanity, he realized, was underestimated once again. But he was determined to show that their strength was not just in numbers or weapons, but in courage, reasoning, and adaptability. The trials of the council had ended, but Alex knew that the true tests were just beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges, conflicts, and unknown civilizations. Yet he would face them all, not with fear, but with courage, intelligence, and an unshakable confidence in the human spirit. And perhaps, he thought, the Queen herself had begun to see that humans were capable of far more than the galaxy had ever imagined. The morning sun painted the city of Zerath Prime in soft golden tones, reflecting off the crystalline towers and the smooth metal walkways that connected them. Commander Alex Rains walked through the palace halls with Queen Lithra at his side, his mind still turning over the events of the previous day. He had faced illusions, guided intelligent creatures, and earned the attention of the Council of Nobles. Today, however, Lithra warned, would not be so predictable. "There are forces within my court who do not welcome outsiders," Lithra said, her voice calm but sharp. "Some believe that humans should fail, that your successes are a threat to tradition. You will encounter obstacles that are not visible at first glance. You must be vigilant. I am prepared to face whatever comes. These devices, she explained, simulate scenarios that could endanger my people or the city. They are designed to test strategy, adaptability, and leadership. Many have tried and failed. Some envoys could not even begin the first simulation without panicking. Lights shifted across the surfaces, forming patterns that suggested danger, obstacles, or critical choices. He felt a familiar thrill, the kind that came with challenges that required observation, patience, and ingenuity. The first simulation began. A holographic representation of the city appeared, highlighting areas that were suddenly threatened by natural disasters. Rivers overflowed, buildings were at risk, and citizens needed guidance. Alex took a deep breath, analyzing the data. Step 1, he said quietly to himself, assess the most urgent risks. Step 2, prioritize solutions. Step 3, coordinate response. The city responded to his decisions, infrastructure stabilizing where he directed, citizens guided to safety. Every action he took was measured, deliberate, and efficient. Lithra watched closely, her expression unreadable. Observe how he thinks, she said to a nearby aide. He does not panic, he does not impose force, he analyzes, adapts, and acts. This is human reasoning, applied effectively in a situation they did not create. Something was wrong. He noticed a faint, hidden signal embedded in the system, a manipulation of the simulations that threatened to override his instructions. It was a deliberate act of sabotage. Someone in the court had interfered. Lithra's eyes narrowed slightly. You have been observed, she said. There are those who resent your presence. This is their first attempt to undermine you. Proceed carefully. He reassigned holographic attendants, rerouted resources, and stabilized the city in ways that the system had not accounted for. The sabotage only made him more alert, more careful, and more effective. The council nobles watching were shocked. Many had assumed the simulation was already insurmountable. Now they saw Alex adapting in real time, overcoming hidden interference and saving the holographic city from complete chaos. Lithra stepped closer, her voice calm but full of approval. Most would have failed at the first sign of unexpected disruption. You adapt under pressure. That is rare. Alien attendants, intelligent and sensitive, moved across the courtyard, simulating a population in need of guidance. Alex had to organize them efficiently without causing confusion or panic. He studied their movements, noticed subtle cues in their behavior, and guided them with calm, deliberate instructions. He did not dominate them. He guided, suggested, and inspired confidence. Slowly, the citizens moved according to his plans, achieving goals that the system had marked as highly improbable. Some nobles whispered to one another, clearly irritated by a human succeeding where alien expertise would normally be required. Others, however, began to nod in quiet admiration. Alex had shown that humans could not only survive alien challenges, they could excel. Lithra observed silently. She had anticipated talent, courage, and reasoning, but Alex displayed something more. The ability to unite disparate elements under pressure without force, a skill few in her empire could match. Just as the exercises seemed complete, a sudden alert rang through the courtyard. The sabotage had escalated. One of the devices controlling the simulations was now threatening to spread instability across the palace systems. Lights flickered, pathways shifted unpredictably, and the holographic citizens faced imminent danger. Most humans would have panicked. Many aliens, too, froze in confusion. Alex, however, remained calm. He took a deep breath, analyzing the new variables. Step 1, he murmured, assess the immediate threats. Step 2, prioritize intervention. Step 3, coordinate every resource available. Slowly, the system stabilized and the city, both holographic and simulated, was saved. Lithra watched closely. Her golden eyes reflected admiration and surprise. Few could manage this, she said. Fewer would do so without fear or hesitation. You have demonstrated not only courage and intelligence, but leadership under unexpected danger. That is extraordinary. You have faced challenges that many would fail, Lithra said softly. You have adapted, guided, and inspired, even under interference and sabotage. It is rare to see such calm under pressure, and it is rarer still to see intelligence applied with such clarity and fairness. Humans survive not by avoiding problems, but by facing them, analyzing them, and finding solutions. Fear clouds judgment. Patience and observation reveal opportunity. Few beings can claim such mastery of themselves and their environment. Lithra seemed to notice his awareness. "The court watches closely," she said. "Some admire, some resent, some wish you to fail. This is their nature. Do not underestimate it, but also do not fear it. You have proven that humans adapt and endure. That alone commands attention. I will remain vigilant. Tomorrow you will engage with representatives from other star systems, some hostile, some curious, some seeking to exploit weakness. Your human traits, courage, ingenuity, adaptability, will be tested against unfamiliar minds and unexpected tactics. And I will adapt to whatever comes." Sabotage, unexpected danger, and interference had tested him in ways he had not anticipated. Yet he had succeeded, not through brute strength, but through careful observation, strategy, and leadership. He realized that humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, but their adaptability, courage, and ingenuity could surpass even the most advanced alien civilizations. Lithra spoke softly, almost to herself. "Commander Rains, the galaxy has yet to see what humans are truly capable of. Perhaps you will show them." The night air carried a promise. The challenges ahead would be more complex, the stakes higher, and the opposition more cunning. But he was ready, and he was not afraid. The morning sun bathed the city of Zerath Prime in soft golden light. Commander Alex Rains stood at the edge of the palace balcony, watching the twin moons fade with the rising sun. Today was the day he had been preparing for, though he could not have anticipated the true weight of what lay ahead. Queen Lithra approached, her presence as commanding as ever, yet calm. "Today, Commander Rains," she said, her voice carrying authority, "you will face the final challenge. This is not a simulation, not a test of illusions or puzzles. This is a mission that will determine the stability of several star systems. Many have tried and failed. You are the first human I have trusted to attempt it." Lives, systems, and alliances depended on his choices and actions. "What is the mission, Your Majesty?" he asked, his voice steady. Lithra gestured to a holographic display hovering above the balcony. Star systems blinked in pale blue and green, their positions mapped with precise accuracy. One system, marked in red, indicated an imminent threat. A neighboring species, the Vyerth, had begun aggressive expansion, encroaching on colonies loyal to Lithra's empire. Diplomatic channels had failed, and conflict seemed inevitable. "You must negotiate with the Vyerth," Lithra explained. "Their leaders are proud, cunning, and unpredictable. They respect strength, but they do not trust outsiders. You will need to use intelligence, observation, and ingenuity. Force alone will not succeed. You must resolve this peacefully, or the consequences will be severe." "I understand," he said calmly. "I will do my best to find a solution that benefits both sides." Unlike previous challenges, there was no room for error. His reasoning, patience, and courage would be tested simultaneously. Upon arrival, the Vyerth leaders awaited him in a grand chamber filled with shimmering light and holographic displays. They were taller than humans, with elongated limbs and skin that reflected subtle colors according to emotion. Their eyes were sharp, intelligent, and cautious. Alex could feel the weight of their scrutiny. "You are a human," one Vyerth leader said, his voice precise and deliberate. "We have heard of your arrival. Many believe humans are reckless. Tell us, why should we negotiate with you?" "I am here to understand and to find a solution that respects your needs as well as those of Lithra's colonies. Humans survive and thrive through cooperation, observation, and ingenuity. That is why I am here." "We expect failure." Slowly, he began to detect patterns, values that mattered most, priorities they could not compromise, and areas where flexibility existed. He proposed solutions that honored the Vyerth's core values while addressing the concerns of Lithra's colonies. Each suggestion was carefully explained, supported with logic, precedent, and a clear demonstration of mutual benefit. The Vyerth tested him, presenting new demands, questioning his assumptions, and challenging his proposals at every turn. Yet Alex remained calm. He adapted to each change, adjusting strategies in real time, finding compromises that satisfied both sides without appearing weak. Where others might have used force or intimidation, he used observation, reasoning, and diplomacy. Slowly, tension in the chamber began to ease. The Vyerth leaders exchanged quiet comments, clearly impressed by his skill and composure. Hours passed. The negotiations were long and exhausting, but Alex persisted. He remained patient, respectful, and clear-headed. Finally, a consensus emerged, an agreement that allowed the Vyerth to retain their honor while protecting Lithra's colonies and ensuring stability across the neighboring star systems. The Vyerth leader who had spoken first looked at Alex, his expression now one of respect. You have shown patience, wisdom, and courage. Few humans could have achieved this. We acknowledge your skill and the fairness of your proposals. Alex had succeeded where others had failed, not by domination, not by force, but by using human traits that were often underestimated: intelligence, courage, and adaptability. Returning to Zerath Prime, Alex felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. The mission had been more than a test. It had been a demonstration of human potential. Queen Lithera awaited him in the palace courtyard, her golden eyes watching his approach. "You have done what few could accomplish," she said softly, though her voice carried authority. "You negotiated with the Vyerth and secured an agreement that preserves both peace and respect. Most outsiders would have failed. Many humans would have failed. But you have shown the galaxy what humans are truly capable of. You are not only fearless, Commander Rains, but wise, patient, and capable of understanding beings far beyond your own species. You have impressed me, and through you I see the potential of humanity. Perhaps they are underestimated for a reason. You are the first human I have fully trusted and the first to earn such recognition. You are a strategic equal, a title unheard of for any outsider. You have shown courage, intelligence, and adaptability, and you have done so without fear. That is more than many leaders in the galaxy possess." Alex had become a symbol, not just of courage, but of the potential of humanity. As the city shimmered beneath the twin moons, Alex reflected on the journey. He had arrived as an envoy, untested and underestimated. He had faced illusions, puzzles, intelligent creatures, court trials, sabotage, and interstellar negotiations. Each challenge had required patience, observation, and courage. And through them all, he had succeeded, not through intimidation or power, but through human ingenuity. Lithera spoke again, her voice carrying across the courtyard. "Humanity has often been underestimated. You have shown what is possible when fear is set aside, when courage is applied wisely, and when intelligence guides action. I am impressed, Commander Rains. And the galaxy will see that humans are remarkable." "I have learned much," Alex said quietly, "and I hope to continue learning. Humans are not perfect, but we endure, adapt, and grow. That is our greatest strength. Perhaps one day, the galaxy will recognize the full extent of your species' potential." Whispers of the fearless human spread quickly, stories of courage, intelligence, and ingenuity reaching far corners of the Empire. Alex felt a quiet pride, tempered with humility. He had faced fear, challenge, and doubt, and he had succeeded, not alone, but through observation, understanding, and adaptability. Humanity, he realized, had earned a place in the galaxy's story. Lithera turned to him, her gaze steady. "Commander Rains, you have shown that humans are capable of far more than most believe. You have faced the unknown without fear, guided intelligent beings, navigated complex diplomacy, and emerged respected by allies and former skeptics alike. That is power. That is wisdom. That is humanity at its finest. Through you, humans have earned respect and the potential to shape the future." The city below shimmered like a jewel, alive with movement and energy. Alex knew that the journey was far from over, but he also knew that humanity had earned its place. The galaxy had underestimated them once, but no longer. And standing beside Queen Lithera, he realized that sometimes courage, intelligence, and adaptability were more powerful than any weapon. Humanity, he thought, had finally begun to show its true strength.